car mate, Rudy Briksza. Hopefully take home Legacy Open title.
Rudy will have to do the driving home.
Yeah.
As we mentioned. A lot of players surprised to find out that I was that guy, as they will shake hands.
Well, I'm surprised that you would admit to it. That's unfathomable.
I'm not going to lie. I am who I am. Or I was who I was. How about that?
I would have left you in a rest stop in Fort Wayne.
Unbelievable. Wow.
Yep.
Says a lot. Here's a bayou off a misty rainforest. See what Kazu's first play is going to be. Elves deck, of course, has many of them. It'll be a Heritage Druid. That's a boring one, at least for now.
This is what makes it heat up, though.
Scalding Tarn number 2. Pass the turn back. Rudy does have his GT already. He also has a copy of Counterspell in his hand. Beatdowns, 19 all.
But this is not really that much protection in the scheme of things. You know, if Rudy finds a creature, especially True Name Nemesis, he's good to go. But a Counterspell, that's only going to contain elves for so long.
Second Bayou here. Breaking the tie. Kazu down to 18. Let's see what the second play is going to be. It's a copy of Elvish Visionary. I have found oftentimes that one is worth countering. We'll see if Rudy will. He will not. Draw a card past the turn back.
Rudy's hand is bad enough that maybe he feels like he needs to grip that Counterspell, but once the Visionary gets into play, so many other cards start getting a lot better.
There's an attack for 2.
I think I would have fired off the Counterspell there.
Yeah, I mean, you got to take some damage from your fetch lands and all that stuff. You want to fetch lands for Brainstorm at that point. I understand maybe you wanting to hold it, but Visionary is really the glue of the deck.
Yes.
It might seem low impact, but it's anything but, especially if you're experienced with elves. As Kazu definitely seems to be, as he has a beautiful deck here, and he's in the finals.
And we've talked a lot about main deck Pyroblast being something that is picking up popularity in this format. This obviously being one of the matchups where that damages you. And Rudy's hand is not good right now, and that is definitely contributing to the problem.
Birchlore Ranger. Next up, Quirion Ranger. Lastly, Wirewood.
Rudy's got to stop it here.
Yeah, that one's got to not get in. There's Counterspell.
If you let the Visionary resolve, then this is the card you're committed to fighting over.
Yeah. And there's a Tundra. Cannot let that thing get into play. Can we find out who and what won the Modern Fair IQ, please? So we are going to check in and see exactly what won our Modern Fair IQ here in just a moment. I know there are some people who are very interested about that. But we've got ourselves an Arid Mesa. And it was Jite. So it looks like Blue-Red Delver got the job done over Bobby Graves playing Jeskai Ascendancy.
So I think Rudy's draw last turn was a Treasure Cruise.
Yep.
And I understand he wants to keep Force of Will in hand. But things are going so badly right now that I think last turn he would have been best served just sacking the fetch lands, paying 4 mana for Treasure Cruise, hoping to find a blue card, and going from there, because I don't think he can afford to really spend this much time and then following up with the Treasure Cruise.
The very powerful Pyroblast. Killing nothing.
Well,
it's a card for Treasure Cruise. That's what it is.
Now we're entering, mystical tutor for ancestral territory. It's like, yeah, you can go ahead and do that, I guess, but it's not quite as powerful as just doing it. Uh-oh.
Some things have changed. True Name. Equipsky Poo. We've got a game on our hands now. All it takes is one draw step.
Yep, this is the help that Rudy needed.
Looks like he's going to go get himself a volcanic island. Let's see if Kazu has a way to get a Reclamation Sage here.
Or Natural Order.
True.
He can overpower this with Craterhoof Behemoth very easily.
This got ugly fast. Nettle Sentinel.
But if Kazu's hand is just some more little elves, that's not a lot of help.
Fetch land. Pass the turn back already. Here comes True Name. Yikes. All it takes is one draw step. 2 counters on the Jite. Vendilion Click, Treasure Cruise, Force Will here for Briksza. Fire away. 1. Choose wisely. 2. Quarian Ranger. That's dead too. Perhaps it's time to cruise?
Sure. I mean, now with the True Name Nemesis, all of Rudy's stumbling and awkwardness has become just fine.
Yep. He's got a Vendilion click. See some rubbish, move over here, make sure he's playing defense so no attacks will happen. Guys, Cradle Misty Rainforest, pass the turn back.
I think I would have preferred clicking first to see what was going on before deciding how to use the GT counters, but probably no big deal.
Sure. Dryad Arbor in the house. Rudy has that protection. I'm feeling pretty good. Forcible and Treasure Cruise in hand.
Oh, yeah.
Gotta be feeling pretty good.
A True Name Nemesis, a flyer, which is pretty close to True Name Nemesis against elves.
Yeah.
Can't block,
Might as well be, as you said. Basically the same thing.
We hit that critical point there where any of Kazu's big plays, because he had a Cradle too, even Green Sun Zenith would have gotten the job done.
Yep.
But now he is drawing very slim. And this is one of the weaknesses of elves. Once the door starts to get shut, you can rarely catch up.
It's so hard to reopen. You need you need a natural order really soon. That's a 1 more turn further away. Swords of Plowshares with the draw. Here comes the attack. 2 counters on the GT. Fire away on Birchler Ranger. Dryad Arbor. You're dead. 2 Nettle Sentinels. Swords of Plowshares. Let's make it 1 Nettle Sentinel. Counting the graveyard. Beep, beep. Cruise a lose. 3 cards coming. 1, 2, 3. Force.
Sure, whatever.
Force. That's the grip.
I think my sequencing would have been slightly different that turn. I think I would have said, just attack, kill one of the elves, leave yourself with the ability to attack for lethal next turn with Force of Will and Treasure Cruise back up. But from that position, it's impossible for Rudy to lose. He's got
so hard.
Too much.
And he is up a game here in the finals with his Jeskai Stoneblade deck. We'll get to the sideboards in just a moment, but I believe you have the rules and I have the 12-month question.
This is the final trivia question before we hit Grand Prix New Jersey. Cedric will ask you the question, and you'll tweet your answer at SCG Live and hashtag SCG Premium. Of the correct responses, one will be selected at random for a full year of Star City Games premium content. Please keep in mind it's about accuracy and not speed, so don't worry about submitting your answer first, just accurately. And also keep in mind that this giveaway is run at the sole discretion of StarCityGames.com, and that Twitch TV is no way affiliated with giveaways or contests on its stream.
There's Grand Prix New Jersey next weekend. You guys all know that. Myself, Patrick, Matthias Hunt, Andrew Shout, Nick Miller, the rest of the SCG Live crew will be there. We got another Grand Prix next year, too. The question is, where's that going to be? In Season 1. Name a sweet, sweet city.
Yes. It's
really
no New
good.
Jersey, but I'm sure we'll find a way to have a good time.
And hopefully you guys will be able to make it out to that one, too. Again, name the city where our Grand Prix will be at the beginning of next year that we've already announced. More information will be coming, of course, at MagicGP.com after Grand Prix New Jersey is over.
Yes.
So I think you can do it. Hashtag SCG Premium. Make sure you're following SCG Live, and we will announce the winner at the conclusion of our final round. As we head back to the match, we'll take a look at the sideboards here. Kazus, we've seen this one before. Pay the Needle, Reclamation Sage, a Scavenging Ooze, 3 Thoughtseize, 3 Abrupt Decay, 3 Cabal Therapy, World Spine Worm, Sylvan Library, and a Progenitus.
So I like going to the Abrupt Decay and kind of the anti-Stoneforge package of Pithy Needle and another Reclamation Sage. I think the Sylvan Library is pretty good for this matchup, and I don't think I would mess around with too much else.
Other side of things, lots of 1s and 2s here for Rudy. Third time we've seen his sideboard. Can't forget about the deck tech he did with Nick Miller in the sideboard, too. If you guys want to find more about how he came to these cards, what do we like out of these 15?
There's a Grapdigger's Cage that I like a lot. There's the 2 copies of Containment Priest, which are very good. Again, Zenith, the Natural Order, so forth. I think the Pyroclasm and the Supreme Verdict, more sweepers are always good. I, generally speaking, do not like Flusterstorm against Elves. I know some people do like to bring this card in, but I think Rudy's got enough powerful action to bring in that he doesn't have to go that deep.
Well, Kazu will be on the play here, so we'll see if he can fight back. And again, what looks to be a pretty difficult matchup. There's definitely some play back and forth. To be fair, it looked like he was doing pretty well there until True Name Nemesis came rolling off the top.
Exactly. He was in a position where he could have just attacked Rudy to death. And even when True Name Nemesis was drawn, if Kazu has a way to get Craterhoof Behemoth, or even has just drawn Craterhoof Behemoth, he's going to easily overpower it. But once Rudy connected once, that was pretty much it.
And oftentimes with GT, that's all it takes against elves.
Yep.
That's what makes it so powerful.
Headline, Jitte continues to be powerful against 1 toughness creature decks.
Nice. Seems to be true.
Yeah.
The look of this deck, it's unlike anything we've seen so far since Concept Dark Years come out.
Well, there's elements of, Esper control decks. There's elements of Jeskai Delver. It's kind of a hybrid between those two decks. But the individual card selection and the sideboard, all over the place. So the specific 75 is definitely different. But like most Legacy decks, it is derivative of other concepts, other decks.
I do love the copies of Containment Priest in this sideboard. If you're not familiar with that card, you better be before Grand Prix New Jersey. I think we're going to see a lot of it there. And it's going to have a huge impact on things.
Death and
A
Tax.
lot of applications.
Death and Tax is a very popular deck.
Yeah.
And this is another valuable addition. Especially since it gives you a little bit of play in the L's matchup, which is typically the worst thing for Death and Taxes to play against. I'm not saying that's going to turn the matchup around, but you have Source of Plowshares, you have Umezawa's Jitte plus Stoneforge Mystic. If you can dial it up just a little bit more, you might be able to turn the matchup from disastrous to just simply unfavorable.
Gives you some game.
Yeah.
That'd be all that you could ask for.
You're not going to turn it into a 60% matchup,
No.
but you may be able to turn it into something palatable.
Might be a card that also puts Maverick on the map, too.
We've been talking about that for a while. There's so many cards in the Maverick skeleton that are powerful against Treasure Cruise, and the deck has always historically been good against Delver decks. Just big stuff, Source of Plowshare, Mother of Runes, really good base for fighting that sort of deck.
Players might be headed back that way, too. We'll see what happens at the Grand Prix next week. We're not quite there yet. We do have a second and potentially a third game to watch here between Kazu, Negri, and Rudy Briksza. Again, a fantastic tournament for both these players, but for Rudy, he has not lost a match yet with his Jeskai deck. And he hasn't lost a game in the top eight yet either. So we'll see if he can get one more and make it a perfect sweep through our elimination rounds.
Quite the accomplishment. We rarely see the old 3-0-6-0.
I think of Greg Smith.
Greg Smith,
Yeah.
yep. Just blood mooning the crap out of Delver decks.
Season 2 in St. Louis. I remember it well. It was the top eight took like 90 minutes or something.
Oh, it was short.
Most restaurants are closed when we get done. They were
Right.
they were open. There were plenty of people in there.
Yeah, no, it's usually we struggle to get dinner, and we were able to go get lunch after that one.
Yeah.
So fast.
Kazu's going to draw his opening hand. We'll see if he likes what he sees.
I think we got a one-lander with a lot of mana critters.
Yeah, YOLO. I think it's a keep. Never mulliganing ever.
Yep.
Keep it. Grand Ranger. See, that's a great card on one lander.
Sure.
I like it.
It's like you got two lands, kind of.
Basically, draw a card.
Cradle.
See, this was easy.
Combos with all the little creatures in your hand. This is easy.
Birch Lore.
You might be glimpsing on turn 3.
Yeah, actually, might be. Heritage Druid. Jesus. This deck is so explosive. It's unbelievable.
Hasn't even needed the cradle yet.
Yeah. Glimpse. Yeah. Okay.
Whoa.
This is a turn of magic. Rudy doesn't have a force, it looks like.
Up.
He might swords here. Deathrite. Draw. He's going to tap for 3, so there's 2 green floating. Jeez. Let's see what other moves we've got left here. A pretty good turn. Just going to pass the turn back, so the glimpse could have been much worse. There's a Source of Plowshares to take care of the Deathrite Shaman.
But this appears to be another draw that Kazu has that's susceptible to Umezawa's Jitte.
Yeah. I mean, most elves draws are, right?
Well, you sometimes have Wirewood Symbiote, or sometimes you're so explosive and you can get to Crater Hoof fast enough that it doesn't really matter. But this looks like the draw that's shaping up to be, all right, well, I got some creatures in play. I'm sort of waiting for things to develop. Rudy may not give him that much time.
Snapcaster. Play Volcanic Island, pass the turn back. A lot of mana here for Kazu. No Elvish Visionary, though. to go along with the Wirewood Symbiote that he just drew.
Although I believe he has Green Sun Zenith.
First things first, beat downs.
Give him a taste.
Wirewood. Nope. 3 mana, Zenith, yes, for 2. Perhaps a Visionary's on the way? Absolutely.
Yep, another piece of pressure in play, another interlocking piece if he's able to get it to a symbiote. And he just needs more gas. So a lot to like here.
Looks like he's going to play a land there in Verdant Catacombs, which can, of course, turn into a Dried Arbor before passing the turn back. Briksza's going to play a Flooded Strand. He'll pass it back. Negri will draw.
And if Kazu goes on the beatdowns here, we might just see Snapcaster plus Source of Plowshares and just get some blocking on.
Yeah, and that's what I think we are going to see. So there that is. There's a block. Sacrifice this. Time to Swords that. Burslar Ranger. Search up I imagine a Tundra here. Yep. Swords will be removed from the game. There we go. Snapcaster Mage isn't that good. There's a Dried Arbor. Pass the turn back.
And Kazu has, now we're going 2 straight games where he really hasn't just found like, any of his gas.
His glimpse was so small this game. See Rudy draws for the turn.
All condiments, no meat.
Yeah. Now Rudy's hand isn't great. Looks like there's a Batterskull, a Dig, and 2 lands.
Well, dig through time might
Yeah.
make the hand excellent.
This is true. It does have the necessary cards down there. I think this card's going to slowly work its way into Legacy. I don't expect it to be a 4 of.
Dig through
That's a
time.
lot. Yeah, I don't expect it to be a 4 of, 'cause that's a lot of those.
Treasure Cruise is much easier to play as a 4 of.
Yeah. But I wouldn't be surprised to see this be a card that people are playing, 2 copies of and have it be really good.
Now, I think Dig is a lot better in Rudy's deck because his cards are much more polarized. He has a lot of high impact cards, so selection matters a lot.
And he just found his copy of Supreme Verdict. And looks like he might be taking Stoneforge Mystic with it.
Wouldn't begrudge that. That seems perfect.
Yeah. Untap, quickly draw. Force of Will to draw. There's a land. I don't mind verdicting here. 5 mana, gonna go with Batterskull instead.
Well, he has the option to force a will something disastrous,
Sure.
and he can just win. Right now, he's ahead.
Yep.
This Batterskull is a game-winning play, and if things ever get too bad, he can Supreme Verdict and get even more out of it.
Verdant Catacomb's gonna get sacrificed here. Kazu gonna search. See if we'll get a Dried Arbor or not. Yep. So Batterskull's going to play a little defense for now.
But this Elves deck is pretty anemic without any of its payoff cards.
Yeah.
Where he's done enough disruption in both games to keep any of the synergies from coming together.
Kazu drew his card for the turn. You see his board, Heritage Druid, Quirion Ranger, and then 2 copies of Dried Arbor to go along with the Bayou and the Gaia's Cradle. Hand doesn't seem all that powerful at this point. Rudy does have protection there with Force of Will. Blue card to remove a Supreme Verdict. Metal Sentinel looks to be in the hand here for Kazu, along with a Forest and a backup Cradle.
Just nothing going on.
Yeah. He'll just pass the turn back. Council's Judgment to draw. There's a Mountain. Yeah, this is a really good turn because he can play Stoneforge. Search up Umazawa's Jite, play Jite, equip Jite.
And he still has Force Will backup and Supreme Verdict backup.
Now there's your block with the Dried Arbor. Use the Quirion Ranger's ability, make it so that you can't get the counters on the Jite. So that'll force that every turn for now. Until Briksza finds a way to get Quirion Ranger off the table.
But you get the feeling that Kazu is going to have no choice but to, at some point, play into the Supreme Verdict.
Yeah. That's what I kind of like about this whole entire situation is that he's kind of got to keep deploying creatures and doing this thing, and eventually this Supreme Verdict is just going to wreak havoc.
I like Rudy displaying the patience here.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to win the game this turn. He doesn't have to get Jite online or what have you.
There's another Mystic. Well, we'll see where we stand here.
I think that might have been Kazu accidentally trying to play a second land.
Yeah, because he played the Arbor that turn. Yep. Verdict.
I'm surprised he wouldn't at least make Kazu go through combat first.
Yeah. Wirewood. Gonna pick up Queen Ranger, yeah. So able to just keep the Batterskull on lockdown, it seems like so far. There's Stoneforge Mystic.
This is still perhaps approaching insurmountable edge territory.
Yeah, it's a very hard game to win because he also just destroyed his mana base too.
Yeah.
There's the Ranger. Cradle's going to tap for 2 green here. Dried Arbor and Aquarian Ranger in play. Number 1 is a Wirewood. Number 2 is an Edel Sentinel. Rebuilt the board. Back to Briksza we go. Caracas the draw. There is Caracas. Are we passing?
Well, I feel like it might be warranted to Council's Judgment the Symbiote, because at some point that has to happen anyway. He has to use a removal spell on it to be able to get Umuzada's Jite going.
To force him passing the turn, pick this up, put it back into play. 4 force back. Quickly untap, draw.
Okay, if Rudy wanted to do this, this is fine.
Yeah.
Just get the Batterskull reset, and now.
This is actually pretty good too, because now here's a Bolt. See you later. He can cast Council's Judgment on the Ranger. We can play it slow, and I actually am okay with playing it slow here because he has Force of Will, so he can just leave the mana up.
Well, it's at least worth an attack with the Batterskull.
Sure, because it forces him to pick up his land.
Or put Jite on something.
Yep.
I mean, there's other things. I guess, again, he wants to keep Force of Will up in its entirety, but.
And here's the Council, because now he can make his move, right?
Yeah.
Now he can say, okay, Council Judgment, get that off the table, equip my Batterskull with a Jite, move in. So he's displaying some patience now.
And Force of Will now with a blue card.
Yep, and so now the green light's on, and it's basically the hardest of locks. Damage is going to come through, 2 counters here. He can move the Jite if he wants to. He can, and maybe he doesn't, maybe he does. But, now we're in basically hard lock territory. There goes the Edel Sentinel, and because Force of Will with the blue card is there, I'm pretty sure there's almost no way out here for Kazu.
Yeah, I like the diversification last turn from Rudy because he has to be a little bit concerned with Abrupt Decay.
Mm-hmm.
So he doesn't want to put the Jite on the Germ, have the Germ get killed, and then, you have to go through all those loops again.
Yeah, the House of Cards temporarily crumbles.
Yeah, it's just annoying, so.
Misty Rainforest will get sacrificed. Kazu gonna go searching. There's a forest. See what he can put together this turn. Bunch of mana. Natural order. Sacrifice a green creature. I've got a feeling this is going to get hit by a counterspell.
Yep. This allows Kazu to go get Reclamation Sage, so I like fighting over this.
Or even a card like Progenitor. It's like there are a couple other options he could have here. There's a Bolt. Clear that out of the way. Give the beatdowns. Force of Will at the ready. It's almost impossible to lose from this point. Draw a card. Pass it back. Rudy Briksza has not lost a match yet this weekend, and he's not going to lose one here. He is your Legacy Open champion here in Columbus, Ohio.
Congratulations to him in a very impressive run through this tournament. XO, double draw, 3-0, 6-0, Legacy Open champion.